The Rams want to do something crazy, and maybe the Jets should be willing to dance. We'll talk all about it. A blockbuster trade idea. Jets, Rams, draft? Let's talk about it.
I'm going to lose my gosh darn bananas. Boy Green Daily starts now. Zoinks!
Boy Green fucking Daily, fucking Daily, fucking Daily. Let's go!
Put your seatbelts on. Get ready for the ride. We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're built for this shit.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? I'm Paul Eston Jr., a.k.a. Boy Green. I'm the New York Jets digital reporter for Heavy.com. Welcome to Boy Green Daily, a daily New York Jets video show also available wherever you get your podcast. Let's cook, baby. We have a full article in the YouTube description down below if you just want to click ahead and read it as we're talking about this. But here is where all of this was inspired from. I was watching the Rich Eisen show, and they do this segment. It's Overreaction Monday on a Tuesday. Chris Brackman, the producer and co-host of the show, throws some stuff at Rich, and then Rich gets to either overreact to it or say, oh, no, that's right on the money. And one of the topics he threw at this week to Rich was he feels that the Los Angeles Rams are going to do something crazy in this draft. And here is the quote. Quote, the more and more you think about it, and you think about where this team is slated, the moves that they've already made, and their history, it feels like the Rams are going to do something crazy during the NFL draft. And he suggested trade up for Notre Dame running back Jeremiah Love. Make an all-in move. They made the Trent McDuffie trade earlier this offseason. They still have some more ammo and make a blockbuster trade up to go get a big piece. And one of the pieces he suggested was Jeremiah Love. And if you're the Jets, and so he said that and sort of inspired me, what would a trade look like? Rams moving up with Jets. So here it is, folks. Let me throw this up on the big board here. It's also a YouTube poll, so you guys can vote on that poll right now here on the show. So here's what I cooked up according to the NFL draft value chart. Okay, here's a proposed trade idea between the Los Angeles Rams and the New York Jets. The Rams would move up to the number 2 overall pick with the Jets. The Jets would move back. Here's what the Jets would get back for that trade. The Rams would give up the number 13 overall pick. They originally got that from Atlanta. Their second rounder, number 61 overall. Their third rounder, number 93 overall. And their 2027 first round draft choice. That they do an all-in move and move up the board. And again, it could be for Jeremiah Love, as Chris Brockman suggested. Maybe it's like one of the defenders. Maybe it's Arvell Reese. Maybe it's Sonny Styles. Whoever it is. It doesn't matter. You know, whatever you think someone would be moving up, giving this kind of capital for, that they think it's an all-in move. Hey, Les Snead once wore a shirt. He's the Rams GM. F them picks. Okay, so he's willing to tango. Okay, and I want you guys to vote on this because some of you said, oh, absolutely, I would take this. But I want to explore the pros and cons of this. Okay, so on the surface, the Jets are not one piece away. So trading back makes sense. Add more lottery tickets, fill more holes. It makes a lot of sense to, in theory, trade back if you're the Jets. For the Rams, again, they're a team that's already made it all-in move with Trent McDuffie. You could move up the board and have the first overall pick of all the non-quarterbacks. So, again, you could do anything. You could add a wide receiver. You could add a running back. You could add a superstar defender. Maybe they love Caleb Downs or Sonny Styles or Arvell Reese or David Bailey, maybe. I don't know what they would be moving up for, whatever they would be moving up for, but to make that all-in move. So it makes sense on the surface for all those reasons. According to the draft value chart, I broke down the numbers here for this trade. You would say, wow, this is a lot the Rams are giving up. Well, technically speaking, the Jets would still be giving the Rams a little bit of a discount here according to the value chart. The Jets, in terms of value, their number 2 overall pick is worth a little bit more than the Rams combination of picks, which is a first this year, a second this year, a third rounder this year, and a first rounder next year. That isn't quite equivalent to the number 2 overall pick based on the value chart. So it'd be a little bit of a discount for the Jets. And normally, whoever the acquiring team is coming up, they sometimes pay a tax on top of the trade value chart. So they'd pay even more. But I think if we're all being honest here, I don't know what the trade-up demand is. Like, there could be a team like the Rams. That's totally possible. But, I mean, I don't know if they're competing with 10 other teams to move up in this draft. So the Jets may have to take a bit of a discount if they want to make this kind of trade down and say, normally we would get this, but in this kind of draft, maybe we get this. So that would be part of the equation for the New York Jets. So draft value chart wise, this checks out. It checks out on the board here. It certainly does. And it's fascinating. But here's the question for Jet fans as you guys are voting in this poll, and I'll answer some of your comments and things of that nature here on the program. Okay, for the Rams, sure. All right, whatever. But what about the Jets? Let's think about the Jets here. Okay. The Jets don't have a third rounder this year. Thanks, Hassan Reddick. Okay. So this trade would fill that void and some, of course, because you would fill that gap. You'd get a third rounder. You'd get another second rounder. And then think about where the Jets would be picking if this trade came through, right? So you would have number 13, number 16, number 33, number 44, number 61, and number 93. You would have 6 picks in the top 100. Plus, you have 103. So 7 picks in the top 103. That would be an absolute treasure chest of picks for the Jets. But here's the thing that you have to consider if you're the Jets. Are you willing to trade back that far? That's a huge drop from 2 to 13. And all the draft experts say that, quite frankly, there's only a handful of guys in this draft that are worth their muffins. Okay, not to say everyone else is trash, but like the absolute blue chip, unquestioned guys at the top. If you trade back from 2 to 13, are you still getting one of those guys? Obviously, the Rams don't think so. That's why they'd be paying this exorbitant price to move up potentially to make this kind of move. But this would be massive. This would be massive. I think I would do it. It sucks because Arvell Reese and Jeremiah Love and all those possibilities are really cool at 2. But if you made this trade back, you could take the Ty Simpson swing with one of these picks if you wanted to. Or you could go in my mock draft yesterday on the MC Show digital channel. I took Vega Ioane, you solve guard. You would be in a position to take one of those receivers, Jordan Tyson, Mekhi Lemon, Carnell Tate. You could go Kenyon Sadiq. You could make that play. The Jets would have opportunities to grab a corner if they wanted. The Jets could go pass rusher. There's going to be some pass rushers in that range. You would just have a lot more possibilities. But again, you'd be sacrificing the top of the board of getting one of those truly elite caliber players. That would be the one thing that you'd be sacrificing in a monster deal of this nature. Let's take a peek at where you guys are standing poll-wise. Okay, feel free to vote on that trade idea. It's going, wow, it was initially 60-40. I would do that trade right now. No way that's falling too far yet. It's back to 50-50 and now fighting towards not doing it. So I'll keep you posted. I will continue to look at how you guys feel about that. Let's get into the comments section here. EZ says, if we can tweak the trade a little more, add another third rounder in 2027, which again, according to the value chart, there is an opportunity to add another pick. I'm just trying to balance it out by saying how many people are trying to trade up in this draft. So I'm trying not to get too greedy. So to get a 1, 2, 3, and a 1, we would have 4 first-round picks next year. It'd be back to the old days of Chad Pennington and Sean Ellis and Anthony Becht and that entire group, which would, of course, be pretty special. It would be to have that group there, for sure. So I get what you're saying, Easy, for another third. Hep says 13 and 16. You could get the tight end and the guard and then trade for Kayvon Thibodeau. Sure. I think Kayvon Thibodeau is going to be I think could be have like a 4th round pick. I like KT. I liked him coming out of the draft. If that's the price, which I assume it is, that's something I'd be willing to do for a 4th round pick. So I don't know if the draft assets have anything to do with it, but Jojo, good morning. BG, good morning, everybody. By the way, real quick aside for all the Espresso Club members in our audience, I just put up a YouTube short just for you guys. Again, we have 2 YouTube membership levels on this channel, Boy Green Coffee Club, Boy Green Espresso Club. If you're a Boy Green Espresso Club member, make sure you guys check out that video I just put out. We're trying to lock in a time for our Espresso Club meeting at the end of every month. If you're a Boy Green Espresso Club, we do a special live show just for you guys in the audience. And no, the public can't see it, and the coffee club can't see it. I actually start today's Thursday. I start my job with the Syracuse Mets tomorrow. It's a job I've been doing for like the last 10 years during baseball season. So it starts, believe it or not, here at the end of March and goes through September. So I'm going to be doing this job for the next couple of months, which shakes up the schedule a little bit. So check out the Espresso Club video, folks, and let us know your preference on date. It'll either be Saturday night at a TBD time or Sunday night at a certain time. So make sure you guys let us know, Espresso Club members, and check that out. NC Green gifting a Boy Green Coffee Club membership here on YouTube. You love to see it. Yeah, baby, that's what I'm talking about. NC Green, beautiful. That is now 12 raffle ticket store contest. I'll update that in just a second. That membership went to Ted, NY Jets FL. Nice, great to have you back on the Army, Ted. Thank you. Beautiful. Excellent, excellent, excellent. That's grand news. Grand news indeed. Yes, let's update the leaderboard here now. NC Green is all to himself with the 12 raffle tickets, excuse me, which is very nice. Breaking a tie he had with MFC and Fastest Food Reviews. Okay, there you go. Very nice indeed. Thank you. Appreciate that, NC Green. The scrolling ticker is now updated. Appreciate that. All right. Let me go through some more of your comments here. Mark Sacchetti says KT is a lazy player. Oof. He does have an 11 or 11 and a half season sack season on his resume. Still the real AD says interesting trade, but I don't want to fall that far. And again, I think that's the big potential hang up in a trade like this is that is a massive drop. And we're talking about a completely different category player. There are players I love in that range. Obviously, the Jets have pick 16, and we've talked about a lot of those. Kenyon Sadiq, one of the wide receivers, Mekhi Lemon, Jordan Tyson, Kenyon Sadiq we've talked about, Vega Ioane. If you want to take a Ty Simpson swing, that would be there. There's no running back in that range. Jadarian Price, his draft stock has been more day 2, so there's no running back there. You're pretty fine at defensive tackle. Pass rusher could be on the table. Off-ball linebacker could be on the table. Safety could be on the table. Corner could be on the table. There's just a lot of things. But again, still, the level of prospect changes dramatically. So that's something to consider. Still the real ID. My history with this team going 40 plus years when they got the number 2 pick, they all sucked. Yeah. There's a Blair Thomas in there. There's a Zach Wilson in there. Yeah. Not great history. That is true. That is true. Big June says, find intriguing at 16, Mekhi Lemon. Yeah, that could totally be it. Yeah. Ted celebrating his new membership. Oh, damn. It's a good day for me. Thank you. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, shout out to NC Green for gifting him membership. Beautiful. Morning to Donald Johnson in here. Very nice. Michael Palermo. Good to see you. Easy. Okay. Easy likes the HEP idea. Nice. Nangi Boko says a trade like this builds your team. You'll get a lot of solid players, not necessarily Pro Bowl players. And that's sort of the thing. At 2, you have a chance at a transcendent talent like Arvell Reese or whoever your preference is at the top. I prefer Arvell Reese. Like that could be a superstar player on defense. He has the potential to be unbelievable. By trading back to 13, you give up on that possibility. You know, you could hit in the middle, like J.J. Watt was like the 16th overall pick or something. Like you can find guys in unique places, but right, it is more a team build philosophy. Jay Burek here says, I don't see Mood straight back that far. Furthest I can see is straight back to like 4, 5, 6. Now the question is, does 4, 5, 6 want to trade up? That's the question. That's a question. Does Cleveland at 6 or Giants at 5 or Tennessee at 4? Do they want to trade back? Because then it's a perfect scenario. You don't drop back too far, and you could probably take the same player too that you'd be taking at 4, 5, 6 within reason. And then you pick up some assets. So yeah, it takes 2 to tango, of course, but that's interesting. Mark Sacchetti says, good morning. Coffee is made and ready to go. Beautiful. NC Green says, what would the Rams do with Kyron Williams? I actually heard them explore this. This wasn't during this same segment. It was a different segment when they talked about, like, what's another crazy move the Rams could make. And I can't remember if they had a draft analyst on or what, but they said Jeremiah Love is just worlds better than Kyron Williams. And now you just have 2 awesome running backs, is basically what they said, with Jeremiah Love taking the lead. And to be honest, Kyron Williams' money isn't that crazy. He's getting $11 million per. Christian McCaffrey and Saquon Barkley are making 19, 20 million. He's getting 9, 10 million less. I mean, that's crazy. So the money isn't like it's good for him as a running back, but it's not super exorbitant. Booby. Good morning, BG. Good morning, pal. Good to see you. Thank you. Thank you for tuning in this morning. Got a couple hundred people in the room. Guys, like the video, hit subscribe here on YouTube. That's a free way to contribute. Yeah, Matthew writes in four first rounders, excuse me. Jesus, I'm dyslexic. 4 first rounders next year. Yes. Again, that would give you a lot of opportunities next year. Of course, ammo to go get your franchise quarterback, another one. And then again, we're going back to the Sean Ellis, Chad Pennington, Anthony Beck, John Abraham days in 2000, turn of the century. That was a grand draft class. And from everything I hear, sure, quarterback, obviously that's pretty important, but it's rich in a lot of positions, which could be good news for the Jets. Jeremiah Smith, anybody? So, yeah. Matthew Wright said he'd do that trade in a heartbeat. Okay, there you go. All right, I just started cooking. Once I heard that on the show, I went, what would a trade look like? I put it out on Twitter, and I can't remember. What were the poll results on Twitter? Let me take a quick peek ski. Let me see. What was the results of the poll on Twitter? How did people feel about this? 59% of the fans on my Twitter, I got like just under 19,000 followers. 59% of them said they would send that trade in. But there was a solid, 41% that said that weren't so sure. Whoa, mama. Welcome back. Welcome back. Our number one Austrian Jets fan, baby, with the 5-pack of Boy Green Coffee Club memberships. Let's go. That's what I'm talking about, number one Austrian Jets fan. That's what I'm friggin' talking about.
Kevin James.
I just got 3 things to say. God bless our troops. God bless America. And gentlemen, start your engine!
There you go. The number one Austrian Jets fan has just tied Jets Worldwide for the lead in our contest. Beautiful. We now have a first place tie. Excellent. Excellent business, baby. That's what I'm talking about. NC Green now moves up to 3rd place in our contest. That is terrific. Thank you, number one Austrian Jets fan. You're the best, baby. Let's see who these 5 memberships went to out there in the audience. Let's take a gander here on the program. All right, the 5R. Jay Burek 20. Hey, he was just in here. Terrific. Chino Aguero is in here. Robert McNair is in here. Very nice. Game Master and Head Crash. You guys are all now members to the Boy Green Coffee Club. Keep those rolling, baby. Let's show you our raffle prizes this month. If you're new to the channel, every $3 you spend on the channel, you have a chance to win a fabulous prize. And on the first of every month, we give away a bunch of prizes, then set up a new raffle. We try to make it as affordable as possible. Again, $3 a ticket. A Boy Green Coffee Club membership is $3. So, every time you gift a membership, you get a raffle ticket. It's pretty cool. So here you go. Again, here we go. We got this 24-ounce tumbler this month, which is cool. It's got every Jets logo ever. New York Titans on here. Jets. I mean, this is cool. I love this cup. I wish I bought 2 of these, but, it's a one of one, and it's going out there to the audience. We've got that one. I got other prizes here for next month. I got to make sure I don't tease those. Okay. We got the Sam Darnold shirt. Here's a throwback, baby. We thank the Giants for passing on Sam Darnold with this American flag. Beautiful. That's in the raffle this month. Let's see. We've got a New York Jets training camp hoodie from back in the day. Oh, this is terrific. Here you go. Nice with a nice jet patch on it. There you go. New York Jets, baby. So there you go. Those are the raffle prizes for this month. Got some fun stuff coming. I got jerseys, hats over here. Oh, yeah. The raffle is going to be terrific. So, again, if you want a chance at all those prizes, all of those prizes will go to one person on April 1st. So, you guys have a couple more days left. Today is March 26th. You guys have through Tuesday the 31st. And then on Wednesday, April 1st, we'll reveal the winner. It's at random. It's random draw. So, if you have at least one raffle ticket, you have a chance. And we'll spin the wheel. Someone will randomly win that. And then we'll immediately announce our next raffle prizes for the draft month, which should be a lot of fun. So thank you, number one Austrian Jets fan, for that. A 5-pack of Boy Green Coffee Club memberships. Whoa, Mamacita, memberships are flying in super chats. Good Lord have mercy. Okay, let's catch up on all this action. Thank you, Austrian Jets fan, here on the channel. All right, let's go. Up next, we have a super chat from Mahar Khalil. Every time we get a super chat, we hear from my daughter, Zariah Luna.
Wow.
Good morning, Boy Green. We need quality best players, not quantity of picks. That's a good point. And again, another part of this equation here is that at the end of the day, you need needle movers. You can make an argument multiple ways, I suppose. By the way, 5 raffle tickets for our contest this month, Mac. You can make an argument that there is sort of the meat and body that you need in terms of quantity and adding those, but you also need game changers, man. You need foundational players that can have a ripple effect on the rest of the roster. And that would be the argument against this trade is you move from 2 to 13. Can you still get that kind of player at 13? It's just a lot harder. At 2, again, you have the first overall pick of all the non-quarterbacks in this class. And that could be a transcendent, game-changing talent. Very possible to get that kind of guy at number 2 overall, Mac. So well said. Well said. So again, there's strong arguments, quite frankly, being made on all sides right now, for it or against it. Oh, look at this! A recent new member to the Boy Green Coffee Club has yelled "Cannonball" and dived into the deep end. DKL9548 has just gifted freaking 10 Boy Green Coffee Club memberships. Oh yeah, baby! And every time 5 memberships or more are gifted, well, you know, we have no other choice. We got to do this.
Number 44.
Woo! 44, that's me!
Get some cold cuts. Get some cold cuts. Get some cold cuts.
Woo! Give me some!
11 raffle tickets this month for DKL9548. Way to freaking work your way in, baby. Right there. You have now tied fastest food reviews in MFC. Oh, yeah. Let's freaking go for 4th on our leaderboard. You jumped right in, DKL9548. Welcome to the show, baby. All right, let's read these 10 new members to the Boy Green Coffee Club here. Flight Boys 2.051. Bird Gang. Let's see. Jonathan Rapp. Esco. Beth Page Chris is back. Bill Fond is back. Xavier Poe. Lenny Malice. Ty Rapp, Brian Turner. You guys are all now members to the gosh darn, and I think that's everybody. Make sure I missed nobody. Yes, that's everybody. Brian Turner, you guys are all now members to the Boy Green Coffee Club. So welcome to the family. DKL9548. Bring it in. Yeah, there we go. Nice. Nice little virtual hug there. Not sure on the, is it one of these? I do this to my, here's a weird story I've never told anyone. So like my son, you know, who's 1, Paul PE3, and then my daughter, Zariah Luna, who's 4. There's this thing, I don't know where it started or how it happened, but if I'm on one side of the room and my son's on the other side of the room and I go, ha, and spread my arms out, he smiles and comes bolting, like sprinting, and then just like sort of, he just sort of cannonballs into my chest, and I like fake go, oh, and then he'll back up to the other side of the room, and I go, and then he goes, and then just like cannonball headbutts me right in the chest. Yeah. So it might be, there's a little flavor of, if any of you guys have ever seen Austin Powers, you know, Dr. Evil, when he's trying to get his son Scott, he's like, and he goes, ha. It's sort of, that's sort of the genesis, I suppose, of that sound, just being somewhere in my vernacular. But yes, that's it. So yeah, my son does that. I was just doing that with him yesterday. So that's being a dad, one of the coolest feelings in the world. Anywho, don't know why I went on that random tangent, but DKL9548, let's go. It's great to have you as part of the family, brother. We got a great community here. Great community of Jet fans here. It's great to have you a part of the family. So thank you very much, DKL9548. We got another super chat coming in. Let's go to EZOC, baby.
Wow.
Let's add that to the pile here for Easy, who's been doing some work, baby. He's been doing some work this month. He's got 9 raffle tickets to our contest, which we're very appreciative of. Thank you very much. What would a Rams first-round pick be like next year? Well, if we're being honest, and honesty is a virtue, that's probably in the late 20s. Could be 32 for Pete's sake. They're a really good team. So take that for what you will. And maybe that would deter some people of like where the pick could be when you're making a trade like this. Because typically, if you're trading for 2 to 13, 13 is a mediocre average team. The Rams have the 13th overall pick because they traded with the Atlanta Falcons. So it's higher than they normally are because they're a really good franchise, obviously. So no, it's probably in the late 20s, could be in the 30s. And for some you say, well, how are you going to get a quarterback there? Again, it just could be another asset, right? Another asset to be able to use to trade up a little in the draft. So that would sort of be the thought process. But no, I mean, like it's that's going to be late, man. That's going to be late. So super late. But again, just another top 32 asset. It's going to be somewhere in the top 32, that's for sure. But that's all we do know. But thank you, Easy, for the super chat. Let me keep answering your guys' questions and comments in here. You guys are going all over the place. I love it. Yeah, and NC Green, Rams would pick very late in the first round, would be my assumption. Taylor Sterling, after how much Miami paid Willis, do people still think Fields' contract was an overpay? I absolutely think it was an overpay. Now, well, let's rephrase, okay? Because hindsight's 2020. In the moment, Justin Fields getting paid that deal, a lot of people criticized it, but it was like, I don't know, 18th, 19th, 20th on highest paid quarterbacks in football. So like, it was whatever. Like, it sucks now because it was a 2-year deal for $40 million, $30 million of that guaranteed. And he started 9 games and then he got traded. So obviously that didn't work out. But yeah, Malik Willis got more guaranteed than Justin Fields' entire contract. He had $45 million guaranteed from the Dolphins. I just don't get what Miami is doing, quite frankly. So you bring in Malik Willis and then you trade his best weapon in Jalen Waddle. Like, what's the plan, man? If I'm Malik Willis, I'm pissed. I'm like, what the hell? What am I doing here? But let's just hope Malik Willis, we don't want the Dolphins to have the number 1 pick. So Malik, be halfway decent. Win a handful of games. Win like 4 or 5 games. Not more than that. So right around there. That'd be great. But so no, was it an overpay? I didn't think it was an overpay in the moment. In hindsight, seeing that he only, played in 9 games, you can criticize it now, I guess, with hindsight. But nah. We'll see. Still the real AD says, you're a future middle linebacker for the Jets, BG. Yeah, that would be phenomenal. If I'm ready, I'm going to be ready to retire. He can join B football or something. Still the real ID says, is it just me or I don't see the need to trade up or down? Their position great. 2 is great, obviously. I'm sure a lot of people prefer number 1 with Fernando, but 2 is great. I heard a lot of people criticize 16 at the beginning of the offseason, and my words to share are like, read the room, man. I'll tell you this: when the Jets made this Colts trade, Sauce Gardner, after the initial shock of it, I asked myself, where do I think this Colts pick is going to be? Like, based on where the Colts are. And I'm like, it's going to be like 25 or something. They're 7-1 and they're freaking operating terrific. Like, it's probably 25. It's 16. 16 and 25 is a massive difference. And then who knows what it's going to be next year. Maybe we'll do a show on that later this week. But no, I think you're in a great spot at 16. Most of us shouldn't have even thought that 60 was a possibility with the Colts. So no, it's a good spot. I just think trader Darren Muji, I'd be surprised. I'm going to be there at the draft, which again is going to be an absolutely bucket life-changing moment in my life, which will be really cool next month. I can't wait being there in Pittsburgh. But, if we went through the first 2 days of the draft and the Jets picked exactly what they picked, 2, 16, 33, 44, I'd be surprised if Muji didn't move around. Maybe it happens. I don't know. But I would be surprised if he just sticks and picks with all 4. I think there could be trading up and trading down. We'll see. NC Green says guys like Bowers, Murphy, Verse are all found in the middle of the draft all the time. Sure, right. You could tell all kinds of stories: second round picks, third round picks, mid first round, late first round. Yeah. You can find a lot of people in a lot of different places. And then there's the possibility of what Jay Burek is saying is that you trade all those picks for an established quarterback like Burrow. So maybe another possibility opens up. In a perfect world, I'd love to just draft our own and just build from that perspective. But, you don't always get what you want. Ep says 4 number ones, we could move up to the number 1 overall pick. It depends on who, again, it depends on who the team is if you're the Jets. If the Titans somehow had the number 1 overall pick, okay, they have Cam Ward. You could trade with them to get the number 1 overall pick. But if the Browns get the number 1 overall pick, it doesn't matter if we promise our firstborn children. They're not trading the number 1 overall pick. The good news is, though, it's not, at least at this point, perception-wise, not perceived to be a 1 quarterback class, and that's it. So that's the thing that helps the Jets, is that they're Todd McShay said 8 first-round quarterbacks next year. Geez, Lou. That seems a little aggressive for sure. So take that for what you will. But, TBD. We'll see. But, yeah, it depends on who the team is at the top. It does. NC Green says, last year we had plenty of taxi squad players starting on the field. That's true. So, again, that depth could be a benefit for the New York Jets. Yeah. Taylor Sterling. As it is, teams might still think we will take Love at 2 and trade up to get him. Yeah, that's what you want to hope. You want to leave all options on the table, which, again, I think that was what EZ said the other day. And I hadn't thought about that. Or somebody said it. I'll give EZ the credit. I'm not sure if he said it, but someone mentioned that, it makes sense for the Jets not to extend Brees before the draft because you leave the illusion that you could still take Love. And maybe that was Lou B now, the more I'm thinking about it. But whoever said it was brilliant. And it's true. And they're not doing it anyway. But, you leave the illusion of you could still do this or that. You want to have ultimate flexibility in the draft. That's the biggest piece of the puzzle. Still Rail OAD says, BG, you do a great job with this channel. Well, thank you. I love the community we've built here. It's pretty spectacular. It's blown up to more than anything I could have ever possibly imagined in my dreams. So, I'm very blessed and humbled to have this wonderful community here on the chat. So I'm glad that any of you guys choose to spend any time here live on the show or after the fact or what have you, which, by the way, quick shout out. We stream live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. People rewatch the show on YouTube all the time. They don't wake up in the morning. I don't blame you. And then we have the audio only version of the show. And it's cool. This, we can do topics like this in the off season. We get to the season. We're talking about X's and O's. We have guests on the show, and it's pretty cool. And then the play-by-play that we've started doing because of peer pressure from you guys. I would have never done that if you guys didn't tell me to. And I've had a lot of fun doing it, to be candid. So thank you guys for pushing me to be great. That's a lot of fun. All right. Oh, yes. We haven't talked about that yet. So thank you, Mark Sacchetti. There's so much news. Today is not the private workout. It's Friday. The Jets will have a private workout with Ty Simpson. That was actually going to be the topic before I did this. Friday is going to be a private workout with Alabama quarterback Ty Simpson. His pro day was yesterday. Darren Muji was not at that one. Muji, Glenn, and all those guys were at the Ohio State pro day. But they will have a private workout with Ty Simpson. That is the 3rd private workout in the last week because last Friday they did a workout with Drew Aller. Over the weekend / Monday, they did a private workout with Carson Beck out of Miami. So Drew Aller of Penn State, Miami, Carson Beck, and then this Friday is Ty Simpson of Alabama. This is just smart business by the Jets. First off, smokescreen season. The more workouts you do, other people think you're taking the quarterback. So that's a reason. Number 2, you want as much information as possible with this quarterback decision. Work them all out privately. You have the ability to do that. You have the resources. Work them all out. Get as much information as possible. Hell, folks, we keep talking about this magical class in 2027, and maybe that's where the Jets find their quarterback. Maybe so. You want to know what would be spectacular if somehow this could happen? What if you get your franchise quarterback in this draft? I don't know if that guy's out there. I don't necessarily see it beyond Fernando, but let's just say it happens and you find your franchise quarterback here. Next year's draft, you have 3 freaking first-round picks. You can build around the team. And let's say one of the teams are terrible, the Colts. Let's say you found your quarterback in this draft. The Colts have like a top 3 pick, and then people are clamoring to you to trade up to go get a quarterback. And you could sell that pick for a treasure chest of picks and add that to the other pile of picks you have. And you could just build this team around Ty Simpson or whoever that guy is. That's possible. It's within the realm of possibilities. So keep that in mind. But yes, so they're going to do a private workout on Friday with Ty Simpson. Great. There's only good can come from that, quite frankly. Only good can come from that. So absolutely love that. So thank you for bringing that up, Mark Cicchetti. And anytime you guys have topics or things of intrigue, please fire them along and we'll get to them. That's terrific. Great. Donald Johnson said, I said that yesterday. See, I knew someone said it. Thank you, Donald. I'll give you your proper credit, DJ. Shout out to you. NC Green, Jeremiah Smith, baby, 100%. If you find the quarterback now, next year you could get Jeremiah Smith or whatever. There's other wonderful players at a Notre Dame, perhaps, Sharon, wink, wink. But there's wonderful players all over the place. All of a sudden you could stock up. So, yeah. Very possible. Here we go. We'll take this down for now, and we'll go back to the trade stuff. I'll go back to the poll right now. Where are we at? Let me see. Where we're at. It's 50-50 right now. Wow. Okay. All right. We'll keep an eye on that poll and see. Again, I thought it would be somewhat. I'm glad 50-50 means it's a good conversation, and that's really what I want to have on Boy Greendale. I want to have good conversations. Kevin Callahan says, I'd love it if Colts and Cowboys crap out and they're picking 1 and 2. That seems unlikely. I think the Cowboys are going to be decent. They got Dak Prescott, George Pickens, CeeDee Lamb. They got too much talent to be that bad. So unless someone gets hurt, I don't see that at all. The Colts, on the other hand, they could be terrible. I don't even know if Daniel Jones is going to be ready week 1. And I don't even know who, and they're trying to trade away Anthony Richardson. I don't know what their plan is, which is great news for the Jets. NC Green says, if we make the trade with the Rams, now there are 3 teams we can root against. See, isn't that just as fun? You could be a Jets fan and an anti-Rams, anti-Colts, anti-Cowboys, anti-Packers. Technically, it's even more than that, right? Because you're rooting against the Colts, you're rooting against the Packers, you're rooting against the Cowboys, and so it's 4 teams, actually. So 4 teams, NC Green is the math, because you want to root against the Packers, Cowboys, Colts, and then the Rams would be that 4th team. So, yeah, the list is growing of anti-teams of what you do there. Yes. Easy says, best case scenario is Geno Smith balls out and our quarterback pick this year can sit and learn. Sure, that would be terrific. Again, my only problem with that plan, Easy, the only problem with that plan, okay, for me, is if you, let's say you draft Ty Simpson at whatever point, let's say 16, just because that's a pick that the Jets have, okay? Let's say Ty Simpson gets picked at 16. And let's say your plan is right. Geno Smith balls out, and he's awesome this year, and he's the bridge, and Ty Simpson doesn't play at all, and he's on the bench. Here's my problem. So we're heading into the 2027 NFL draft, and we don't know fully whether Ty Simpson's the guy. That's a scary place to be, Easy. That's a scary place to be. Again, I hope Geno Smith balls out. That'd be a lot of fun for us to try to win games and have a lot of fun. But in terms of the quarterback conversation, if you take Ty Simpson, now if you take Ty Simpson in the 2nd round, maybe it's not as big of a deal. But if you take him in the 1st round, and you don't get to see him play all year, how could you possibly make a decision in the 2027 NFL draft? If you take a quarterback, then, what do you do with Ty Simpson? Do you just trade him, this unused asset, away, I guess? If you draft Ty Simpson, you're like, we kind of like this guy, and you passed on the quarterbacks next year, and then Ty Simpson's terrible, you passed on the great quarterbacks for no reason. So, again, that's the one complicated layer that give me a little bit of the heebie-jeebies. Normally, I'm all about quarterbacks marinating behind the scenes, to be candid, because the Jets have effed up so many quarterbacks. They've effed up so many quarterbacks by forcing them out there before they're ready. But in this particular case, I kind of want to see what's in the package. I want Christmas a little early. Okay, the Ty Simpson present. Ooh, I actually want to open this on Christmas Eve. I sort of want to see what's in this package, at least a little bit, before I make a transcendent franchise-altering decision in 2027. Gives me a little bit of the heebie-jeebies. Let's do this, folks. We're going to have a special guest joining us. Beat reporter Nick Faria should be joining us in about 10 minutes. But let's do this. We'll open up the phone lines. We'll take some of your calls in between, and we'll bring it all together. We'll play a Hep timeout. Welcome your phone calls next, right here on Boy Green Daily.
1, 2, 3. Whoa! Boy Green, Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily. Talking Jets football, man. Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily. The New York Jets Football Club. Offense, defense, special teams, watch Jets football with Boy Green. Everyone, J-E-T-S, Jets. Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily. Talking Jets football, man. Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily. Offense, defense, special teams, watch Jets football with Boy Green. J-E-T-S, Jets. Let's go!
Let's go, baby. Paul Esden Jr., a.k.a. Boy Green. I'm here on Boy Green Daily. We got 300 people in the room. Guys, like the video, guys and gals. We have 130 of the 300 watching on YouTube right now, which I'm very appreciative of. The free way you guys can contribute. I've appreciated the super chats and the memberships. That help keeps the lights on around here. But we only have 56 likes, but over 130 of those people in the room. Make sure you guys like that damn video. And we're only a few subscribers away from 8,520 subs. So make sure you guys jump on that train as well here on the program. Let's go to those phone lines. It's a pinned comment right now on youtube.com/boygreen25. And look at Indy saying it. Good morning. Let's go, Hep. All right, if you say so. Here he is, Hep, on the move.
Hey, guys. Yeah, that's crazy haul. I mean, that's like that's a big haul. I mean, I don't know. That's kind of intriguing. They're only missing out on Reese, really, if you think about it, right? You're just missing out on the one player.
Right. That's true. Mm-hmm.
But I was thinking about what you were saying with PE3. I do the same kind of thing with my grandsons. I sit on the floor and I spread my legs and I go, ready, set, hike. And when I say hike, they come running at me full speed and they hit me in my chest and I gotta go, oh, and I fall back and they go, oh, you got me. And they go, do it again. I said, I never stopped.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. I love that. I do always get the again.
Ready, set, hike. Yeah. So that's all I got to say. I'm trying to book some studio time to record the Boy Green Daily show. So I'll keep you posted on that. Hopefully this weekend.
All right, awesome.
With some electric guitar and some drums and some cool stuff.
Cool. Okay. Can't wait.
Peace out, guys.
There he is. Thanks to Hep. Yeah, we're working on a Boy Green intro behind the scenes. So awesome. Okay, I can't wait to hear more details about that. Hopefully coming up here in the near future. Yeah, kids are the best. It's great. I'm very blessed to be a father of two lovely human beings that rely on me for life, and their mother for most of it. To be honest with you, I just tag in when I can. But thank you. Shout out to Hep. Yes, sir. And Hep on the move. All right. Good to see Hep on the move. There you go. All right. Let's go back to the phone lines. Hey, look, Brian Farrell says it. Just hit that like button, folks. Come on now. It's right there. It's free. Pow. Hit that like button. Let's go. All right. Back to the phone lines. We got easy.
Yeah, man. Hit that big red candy like button.
There you go. Nice.
Anyone who's a Ren and Stimpy fan.
Wow. Wait a second. Oh, is that some ink, Easy? What do we got on ink? Whoa, I don't think I've ever seen that before.
Yep.
Oh, that's cool.
My monitor for my sugar.
And is that like a musical note, like chiseled in stone?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Oh, nice. What's on the bottom there?
A bunch of skulls that this asshole did that he charged me too much for, and the skulls look like potatoes with skull faces on them.
No, I
So
love
like,
potatoes.
I got to get them fixed. But
Yeah,
anyway,
all right.
that's not, you know.
Sweet. Nice. Anywho, go ahead, sir.
I like the Ram trade that was proposed, but I definitely want that extra third round pick next year too.
Yeah.
Here's my thinking on it. If we have the 13th and the 16th pick this year,
yeah,
you know, just and we have that extra, and we have 3 second rounders. Okay, so
sure.
we have 13 and 16.
Yeah.
In a scenario like this,
okay,
we could always package a second and one of the first and move up back up again a little bit if we needed to.
That's possible.
But the thing is, with picking 16 and 13, knowing you have everything that you have next year, plus that's all trade bait to get maybe trade for someone this year if you absolutely have to get someone.
Right.
At 13 and 16, the board can come to you.
Yeah.
Someone that you always expect is going to be gone is always available. That can always happen. So you could, I mean, with Muji being as good as he is, you could get an absolute fucking steal at 13 if things fell the right way. I mean, look, if you're getting a top 13 player in this league from college, you're getting a starter. Okay, it's just.
God, I hope so. Yeah.
Well, I'm saying you are. I mean, it's just, are you going to get a starting guard? Are you going to get a starting wide receiver? Are you going to get a starting edge? Are you going to get a starting safety? You're going to get someone worth that 13th pick absolutely all day long at a position of need.
I think so. Then, by the way, we have beat reporter Nick Faria of JetsXFactor.com jumping into the octagon here.
How you guys doing?
Good morning.
So what do you think of that idea, Nick? That if you did that trade with the Rams, but you just tweaked it and you told them, yeah, we'll do that, but give us a third next year also.
Okay.
But now we have 13 and 16. Now we have 13 and 16. Oh, you got to tell him what
because he has no idea what the hell we're talking about here. So let me just reset real quick. So on the Rich Eisen show, Nick, Chris Brockman did this segment with Rich where he was throwing him like crazy things that he thinks could happen, and he says, "I think the Rams are going to do something crazy in this draft." And he says, like, trade up for Jeremiah Love, and that got my cog spinning of like, what would that trade look like? So I pulled out the draft value chart, started doing the math of it all, and here's the trade. So I'm going to throw it up on the screen. You tell me what you feel about it or what you do. According to the draft value chart, this is what it would cost for the Rams to move up from 13. They'd have to give up 13th overall, 61 overall, that's their second rounder, 93 overall, their third rounder, and a 2027 first to jump up to 2 with the Jets. According to the value chart, the Jets actually, the second overall pick technically is worth a little bit more than this, but still, it would all work out for this. Would you do this if you were the Jets?
This 2027 first, don't they have 2? Or is it only just one that they have?
We already have 3 right now.
No, he's talking about the Rams. Now. Yeah, he's talking about the Rams. I believe they only have their own, I believe.
I wouldn't do this. I wouldn't.
You wouldn't? Okay, go ahead, please.
Yeah, and listen, I get it. It makes sense because you accumulate a 4th first-round pick.
Right.
I'm not taking anything away from it. And again, this is just my opinion. The Jets may be a team that really likes this idea.
Yeah, right.
But you think of the drop-off from a top 10 pick to a top 15 pick in this draft. Easy, you said, and I would agree with you, there's always a player that drops. There's always a player that's going to drop. But I think that's a player that can drop at 16. We're not talking about Arvell Reese dropping to 13.
But we still have 16 also.
Yeah, but again,
we still have 16 also.
But my point is, you're not getting Reese. You're not getting, most likely not getting Bailey, and you may not be getting Bain depending on how many teams are really worried about his arm length. So you don't get the quality edge rusher. You miss out on the safety. You miss out on the fundamental defensive piece that you really need in this draft. I think it's far more likely that the Jets stay at 2, try to move up at 16. Try to find a partner at 16, and then try to get back in the first round later on, kind of like what the Giants did with Jackson Dart. If Ty Simpson were to fall to around Pittsburgh's range and Pittsburgh doesn't draft him, essentially sit there and say, we're going to be fine. Let's get up. Let's get our quarterback in the first round so we have that 5th-year option. and go from there, because the math is there where you can trade. You don't have to give up a 2027 first rounder to move back into the first round if you're giving up pick 33. The math is there for the Jets to be able to get back in for a third first round pick. But I do not see the value of giving up a top defensive prospect just to pick up a 2027 first round pick. I just don't see that.
But you're not getting just a 2027 first round pick. You're moving back to 13, but you're also getting another second this year, a third this year, which we don't have, and the first rounder next year, which would give us 4. And I'm throwing in that they actually have to give us an extra third rounder next year as well.
Yeah, but
Right.
you're also, but again.
So then, no, if we got wait, if we got what we get in this year plus a first and a third next year, would you then do that?
I think you're overvaluing this draft class. This draft class is good, but this is not a can't miss.
Not for quarterbacks, but everyone's saying it's just because the quarterbacks aren't there to where everyone's rushing to get one, and then all the super, super good other players drop that much. 13 and 16, you're going to get blue chip players.
Right.
You're
But I
going to
think
get blue chips
for that, though. I think
13 and 16.
I think you're getting starters, but the blue chips are going top 5, top 6 this year.
exactly. And here's the thing, EC. Again, according to the value,
you still have
you're
safeties.
Right.
You still have linebackers. You still have offensive linemen. You still have interior defensive line. You have all these great players from like Alabama and Georgia and all these good teams that are going to be sitting there just ready for you to snatch them in the early teens.
But they're not
going to be there.
Upside that some of these guys have.
But you'll get a better value for them.
I think there is an argument to be said for Nick's point, and this is sort of what I
4 picks next year, 4 firsts next year. Holy shit!
That would be a lot.
We can get whatever we want. We could trade the house to get who. If we have 4 first rounders next year, guess what? We get the best quarterback in the draft.
Maybe
next
again.
year.
I
Absolutely.
think if I'm
but
the
I think Gino's going to ball out this year, though. So we could get Alwar if we do that trade and we get that 3rd round pick. We could get Drew Alwar in the 3rd round with that pick. Now this is all hypothetical, but that would be the perfect spot to get Drew Alwar is in that 3rd round. What do you think about that? That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, no, I hear you. If I'm the Browns and have the number 1 overall pick in the 2027 NFL draft, and the Jets offer me 4 first-round picks and their firstborn child, I'm telling them to go kick rocks. I have Arch Manning or Dante Moore or whoever the hell someone is going to be perceived as that top quarterback, and I don't care what the price they offer me is. I want this amazing franchise quarterback for myself. So I don't think it guarantees that you get it. But I think there is a point to what Nick's saying, and that's what I said at the beginning in twofold here. One, are you willing to give up a blue chip prospect right now, which is what you're giving up? If you go from 2 to 13, you are bypassing the top level players in this draft. You have the number 1 overall pick of all the non-quarterbacks in this class if you stay at 2. And that's a far place to drop. 2 and 13 are dramatically different places. There are a lot of picks, and that's cool, but you're passing on quality players, and a quality player could totally change the direction of the franchise. Arvell Reese has a chance to be a superstar, and I don't know if you get a superstar at 13.
What number was the pick when Kansas City picked Mahomes?
I believe it was 10. They traded up from 27 to 10 to take Mahomes.
Okay, so even Mahomes, who you could arguably say is one of the best quarterbacks in the league right now, definitely top 3.
Okay,
arguably the best.
Sure,
they got him. They traded up. They got him at 10.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you're going to 13, not a big drop off.
But
it's only a big drop off because we're going from 2 to 13. We could have easily won 1 or 2 more games this year because of lack of the stupidity, and we'd have been picking around 6 anyway, or 7 anyway. It's just that, we were so stupid and horrible this year that we tripped and stumbled our way into the number 2 pick.
Easy. The math's not mathing. The math's not mathing.
Yeah. I'll easy. Hang on tight here. Wait a second. Just because the Chiefs in some random draft happen to select Patrick Mahomes 10th overall does not mean, hey, the difference between 10th and 13th is that much.
But also it's a completely different conversation. The Chiefs picking in the late first round, giving up an additional first to go up for a quarterback is a lot different than the Jets or the Rams in this case trading up and giving up an extra first round pick for a running back in this type of situation.
Right.
And and they could pick somebody else, but if you're the Jets, there's not enough talent here. There's no talent on this roster. The whole reason you have all these picks is to get blue chip talent where you can fundamentally change the roster. Whether it's David Bailey, whether it's Arvell Reese. I know Jets fans are kind of split on this right now, but you're getting a blue chip player. If they took Caleb Downs, they're getting a blue chip player. So giving that up is a massive gamble to me because as talented as these blue chip guys are, I don't see there being blue chip talents at 10 or 13 this year. I just don't. This isn't the draft class. 2024, there was. I thought Olu Fashanu was a blue chip player, and the fact that he fell to the Jets was a great thing. And it kind of showed out throughout the entire draft. A lot of teams got good players. And Armand Membu being a really good player, maybe not a blue chip, but a really good player falling to the Jets at 7 last year. Those things are great. But you're banking on someone falling to 13 instead of just 7 or 10. That's a massive, massive drop. If the Jets were to make that trade, they are saying goodbye to the best edge rushers, to the best safety, the best running back, and maybe potentially the best receivers, although I think there's going to be at least one good receiver still available in the teens.
Probably. I would say that. We have a super member shout out coming here.
Wow.
My Jets fandom member for 20 months. Appreciate that. He says, Nick, 5 or 6 blue chip players in 2026. How many in 2027? I still think that is a little bit to be determined, but
yeah, it's completely to be determined because a lot of these guys can return to the college ranks. Arch Manning could go back this year and just say, screw it, I'm coming back for my senior year. And that changes the conversation of what it looks like. Dante Moore could do it as well. This is not his senior season. So I don't even want to put a number on how many blue chip players are going to be available in 2027 because that number is going to change every single day, and especially based on the new NIL rules.
Yeah, and again, I go back to, right, Easy says that trade package I threw up there from the Rams. He's like, I'd want another 3. And again, according to the chart and how trade-ups would work, normally that's the case. But I think we have to have full, unbiased, take a step back. How in demand is the number 2 overall pick, with all due respect? How many are the Rams compete with 10 other teams to move up? I don't think so. So if the Jets are to make a trade back, and this goes more to your point, Nick, of maybe probably why not to do it, is you're going to take probably a net loss on what the value is of that pick to make the move. You're forcing it. You're saying, okay, normally we get a first, second, third, fourth, fifth, all these million things. But because of this draft class, we're going to have to take less than that to move back. And at that point, don't you just stop and say, you know what? Why don't we just take the best player here? And we're just going to go, as opposed to playing around. I get the allure of four first round picks, and that's pretty cool. But maybe it's just, let's just take the best player too.
Well, the other piece to this, of course, is the fact that they have been getting calls. Like every team is looking to trade up where they can because this is a very slim blue chip talent class. If you're at pick 9 or pick 10 and you want to get your top running back or you want to get Caleb Downs and you want to solidify the opportunity that you're going to do that, you're going to want to trade up. So the Jets are going to be in a situation where they're going to get offers for 2. The question is, do they feel like, let's say the Tennessee Titans were to call them up and say, we'll give you this year's first, next year's first to move up to the second overall pick because we really, really want the running back or we really, really want Arvell Reese, whatever it is. Put the hypothetical in there.
Yeah.
Then the Jets can sit there and say, well, we're going to miss out on this blue chip talent, but we're going to be able to get the other edge rusher or another player that we can use and start right away that can be a hopeful, transcendent performer on this team. It's a big drop off if we're talking, the Titans at 4 or the Giants at 5 and the Rams at 13. If you're the Jets and you're willing to trade down, it makes more sense to trade down at 4 or 5 than it does outside of the top 10 entirely.
Yes, I agree. If there is a path to trade down minimally, pick up a little bit of an asset, I think that's the preferred operation. Let's go back to the phone lines. Badshaw's here on the show.
What's up, fellas? Sporting Demario Davis. alma mater today. So
let's go.
Yeah, but so I've got two questions, and it's kind of funny Nick's on here today because last night I was looking through the Madden rosters, and I was just kind of looking around, seeing, a couple months ago they released the final roster for the game and whatnot, and anyway, I was just going through there looking at players, what teams they were on and whatnot, and I know we've done a lot of talk about Tanner McKee. I got on the Philadelphia Eagles, and so I don't keep up with the Philadelphia Eagles, so if this is an obvious question, I'm asking to just give it the, whatever. But I noticed they had three quarterbacks this year on their, at this time on their roster at the end of the season. They had Jalen Hurts, Sam Howell, and Tanner McKee. And so it looked like they got Sam Howell from Minnesota, I believe. And I know he had like a little glimmer of hope with the Commanders at one point. And so I know on Madden, you look at the overall ratings and whatnot. I know that doesn't usually.
I know Woody Johnson does. Yeah.
Who does?
I know Woody Johnson does. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Well, so I just noticed Sam was on. I didn't even realize, I guess, that Sam was on their roster. Was he the backup this year, or was Tanner the backup? I know we've talked a lot about Tanner. It was Tanner. Okay.
It's Tanner. It's been Tanner now for a couple of years.
Okay, because I'm like seeing Sam on there, and I'm like, and of course he's got a higher overall rating, which granted, like I said, that doesn't mean shit. But I'm like, I was sitting there thinking, okay, so we're all in on this Tanner McKee guy, but he was like the third guy on the depth chart. So I just wanted to clarify that.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah,
because I was just, I don't know much about him. I'm just going off of what I've heard you guys say. I know Nick's a big Eagles guy, so I know he likes them, obviously. But I've heard other people say that they're interested in him, so I know it's not just Nick. But
well, he's a top backup in this league. That's the thing. It's just a matter of what is his upside. I think that he's, you're looking at a potential Matt Schaub kind of player. Because when you put the talent around him, he can be really, really good. He's got a big arm, good accuracy in the pocket. But the problem is, if he came out 20, 30 years ago, he's probably more skilled and more appreciated than he is now. He can't run the RPO. He can't run for crap. But he's a backup quarterback now. Sam Howell, I don't even think is on the roster anymore because Andy Dalton got traded. So it's really just – and here's the other thing. Philadelphia is the one team in the NFL – that looks at their backup quarterback as a truly coveted position. So if you want to poach their backup, you better pay a hefty price. And for McKee, I heard a second, nowhere near is that going to happen. But I think maybe, you have a question about a third, fourth, a fifth round pick, then that conversation can certainly be had. But I just don't see that happening now because McKee still has a year of control in his contract.
Okay. And I also saw yesterday that they're gonna start the season off on a Wednesday. Looks like in Seattle, and I don't know. I don't think they released who the other team was that they'd be playing. I know they said on Thursday, the day after, the Rams and the 49ers are playing. If that's right. Am I correct on that? That we don't know who's opening this year?
Yeah, they announced it at the league schedule.
Yeah, okay. And sometimes those get leaked. So the full schedule comes out the middle of May, and sometimes for the season opener will probably come out well before that because that's a big. They start slowly releasing key dates on the schedule. So the season opener, I'm sure they don't want to interrupt it with the draft. So May 1st or something, we may know who Seattle's going to open up the season against.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah, I was pumped. I know. And like you said, I know they usually, some of the bigger games at the beginning of the season openers, they're going to announce those a little early. Definitely looking forward to the whatever game we're going to go to this year. And also looking forward to that Titans game. I'm waiting to see when that's going to be released because I'll definitely be at that Nashville game. So, but anyway, looking forward to, tailgating again and whatnot, and hopefully we can get a bigger group than we did last year and whatnot, and I'll let y'all get on to other callers.
Appreciate it. Good to see you, Badshaw. That'll be awesome. We'll have to have Nick. I don't know if he can, and the suit and tie as he's heading to the press box. I don't know if he can come grab a dog real quick or something as he's swinging by. But we'll see what we can do there, Badshaw. That's for damn sure. We have a super chat coming in for you, Mr. Nick Faria, beat reporter for JetsXFactor.com here on Boy Green Daily. Hit it.
Wow.
Okay. Mac Attack asks $5 super chat. Great question. Hey, Nick, which of the players, so like top 10 players of this draft, do you think it's the best chance to drop to 16, sort of fall into the Jets' lap, a player that's considered right now a top 10 player in this draft?
It's Jordan Tyson, the receiver from Arizona State, and for good reason why he could absolutely drop, because the injury concerns are very real. That there are certainly things that if the Jets were to draft him, they would have to make sure that the medicals are completely 100% something that they can deal with. Listen, I really like Mekhi Lemon. If I were to grade the top 3 receivers, I would go Tate, Tyson, then Lemon.
Okay.
So from a purely health standpoint, if you're a Jets fan, you would love to see Mekhi Lemon fall at 16. But in terms of the most likely, I will say it's probably Tyson because of the injury.
Would you be comfortable taking Jordan Tyson?
Yes, absolutely. You run up if he's available at 16. You run up to the board and you draft him. This is a good, not great wide receiver class. And I think there will be multiple receivers taken by the Jets this year, not just one. So I do think that even if Tyson is dealing with the injury, you pick up a good quality player in the later rounds, and you could still come away with a much deeper receiving room than you had last year.
Yeah, wow. Well, that'd be, again, obviously he's fun. The injuries scare the bejesus out of me. But, hey, sometimes you got to risk it to get the biscuit, baby. Sometimes you just got to get foggy.
Yeah, there's examples of NFL players, really good NFL players, that had a lot of injuries in college and went on to have great Hall of Fame caliber careers. So that's kind of what the Jets are gambling with. This isn't to say that Tyson's a Hall of Fame player right now, but he certainly has the potential to do some really, really good stuff. So you put him at the X where you can allow Garrett Wilson to work from the slot. I think that changes the complexion of the offense if he's fully healthy. And again, the question would become, if the Jets are picking at 16, do you want the receiver with health questions? Do you want the potential QB2 that does not have a lot of starts, a lot of experience there, but certainly will be in consideration? I know he has a private workout with them on Friday. Yeah. Or do you just trade back and say, let's just get the best available player? There's a lot of different scenarios that are going to come up. I think the Jets are going to stay packed at 2. They're going to get their top defensive player. They're going to get the best non-quarterback in this draft. The question becomes, what value are they looking for at 16?
Right, that it has to be the question through this, but a very interesting super chat coming through. Look at this. We have a new member to the Boy Green Espresso Club, baby. Let's go. With Chris FL Jets here has now joined the Boy Green Espresso Club. That's 5 automatic raffle tickets to our contest, baby. Let's freaking go.
Let's go, JETS. Jets. Yes, sir.
Perfect. Good job.
There you go. That's what I want more. After I do a Jets chant, people are immediately telling me, perfect. Good job. Yeah, nice. Nice job, pal. That was Joseph Asai and the Jets media team trying to redo that video. Very nice. Chris FL Jets, you are now a member, like I said, to the Boy Green Espresso Club. And this weekend will be the next Boy Green Espresso Club meeting. It'll either be Saturday night or Sunday night. So stay tuned for that, Chris. Great to have you as part of the Army, brother. Let's freaking go. If you're a member of the Boy Green Espresso Club, you get 5 raffle tickets. And as long as you stay a member, you get 5 raffle tickets every single month to all of our contests. So salute there to Chris. Back to the phone lines. Kyle Clifton, baby.
I think that this entire rebuild is about the 2027 draft.
All right.
So when you acquire another first round pick, you cannot assume that Rams pick is going to be 31 or 32 overall just because they traded up for Jeremiah Love.
Okay.
Because we know that Matt Stafford could blow his knee out in game 2.
I guess so. Sure.
And what you end up there, they probably still, limp into the playoffs. You end up with a top 20 pick regardless if you have the Rams pick.
Mm-hmm.
So what you're really doing is you're putting yourself on a wheel of chance with a marker named Rams, Packers, Cowboys, Jets, Colts. and you are spinning a wheel with tiebreakers and so on, where you'll be able to take down whatever value in a talent-rich draft full of blue chip players next year. And assuming we're going to have a top 8 pick, I know it's a real stretch. We should be able to get our quarterback regardless.
Oh,
right?
Kyle, I will ask you this here. Do you believe that the Rams pick, the Colts pick has the potential to be higher than the Jets next year? I agree. I completely agree. I think the Jets could actually get maybe 7 wins. They're picking in the teens, and it doesn't even matter because the Colts are so bad.
Right.
Like, I really think they're about to have an absolute terrible season.
Yeah, they have a quarterback problem.
Yeah. Bluntly, yes, I concur.
So, like when you add additional top 100 players in this draft, you're really bringing in lottery tickets to fill holes, and to Easy and Nick's point. I think that there will be, like, it would not shock me remotely if Jordan Tyson was there at 13, and he's my favorite receiver in the draft. And if his medicals check out, you snap him up.
I think it's 16. Like there's just so many questions with the injury. A lot of teams can just say, we want nothing to do with this.
Right, but I think there are guys that are being undervalued, maybe not by front offices, but by fans or whatever. Like Vega Ioane, like that is a top 16 pick. It's without a doubt that's a top 16 pick. And I see mocks where he's going later, and I don't think that's appropriate.
That's not good.
Who was that? Field Yates or something? The most recent mock draft I saw, he filled a Pittsburgh at like 21. I'm like, oh my God.
I don't see that happening at all.
Unbelievable.
No. So, like, if you could come away with a Tyson and a Ioane, and then I'm totally comfortable with that. But what this trade also enables you to do is it enables you to go back up if
right.
You like if you want to say, like, imagine that Sonny Styles is there at 7.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, like, it gives you a lot of flexibility, and in Muji we trust, right? Like,
amen.
To me, I would snap this deal up because I don't love the draft. I love the idea of getting a pick next year. I don't think we necessarily need a third to make it worth our while in 2027.
Right, I don't either.
And, like, it gives you the maneuverability to move around the board this year. And to me, this is what I would call a middle of the field draft. There's a lot of non-premium positions that you could really stock in this draft, whether it's interior offensive line or linebacker or safety. Go ahead and do that, man. Like, and work on a depth, which is a huge problem for the Jets.
Right.
And then let's move the ball forward, like, with an eye on 2027, where we will take down value with the picks we're going to have, and we'll just hammer teams over the head. I can't wait.
There you go. Great stuff. Kyle, I'm a big fan of both you and your fan. I'm a fan of both. What a wonderful fan we got going on here.
This is actually my friend Mad Max's background. So
wow. Okay. Well, shout out to Mad Max. Let him know how I feel about his fan. Yeah.
Yes. I'll talk to you guys soon.
Thank you. There he is, Kyle Clifton. Wow. I'm a big fan.
I fundamentally disagree with the idea of going offense in the first round. They desperately need an edge rusher. Desperately need a top.
I agree.
Edge rusher.
Yeah, they need an edge rusher.
And you're trading away the opportunity to get one. I really like Reese. I really like David Bailey. I think either one, and the Jets are going to come away with the top non-quarterback in this draft class. It depends on their overall preference.
Is it closer than we think on that? The favorite among bettors and all that is that it's Arvell Reese and that he's the guy. And we've heard some talk about David Bailey earlier in the process. Sure, talk about Bain. Is it really Reese, or is it this much closer, a much tougher conversation in that building than people realize?
I think it's still Reese at this point, but they're not going to be set in stone at this. Like, we still got over a month to go, so they are going to have these conversations and really try to nail down this pick, because this is a pick you cannot miss. And really, I did want to bring this up. I do have an article coming out later today that kind of delves into it. What is the expectation? And this is where Jet fans need to be honest with themselves.
Okay.
What is the expectation with these 4 draft picks in the top 50?
Starters.
Are you guys is the team looking for plug-and-play starters? Are they looking for transcendent talent? Are they looking for a couple of starters, then maybe someone that you can allow to sit the bench and allow to grow their game? Is the pressure on this rookie class to step in right away and play? If the answer to that is yes, and again, this is for fans to answer. If the question is every pick in the first 2 rounds has to be a starter, then there can be no argument that at pick 2 it's an edge rusher.
Right.
Or just the best defensive player available.
Right, whatever.
You're not going offense. You are going the best defensive player available.
Right.
And then at 16, you are going either receiver, you're going tight end with the City kid. You're going potentially, with another player that can play right away. And then in the second round, you're getting starting caliber players. You are avoiding the quarterback decision. You are avoiding players that are not going to play right away. That's the question. If it is, we want the best talent, it doesn't matter if they have to play right away, then quarterback is in play in both 16 and at 33 and 44. Then you can move around the board a little bit where you do not have to have essentially, it has to be this. It must be this. You see the distinction here. We're talking about staying packed where you are and getting guys that are going to contribute right away, or upside guys that may not play week 1 or week 5, but are there because they believe in the future build of this program, this organization. The Jets need to determine which side they want to go down. If it's all about the starters, then they're staying packed at 2, and any potential trade with the Rams is all for naught because it's not going to give them the opportunity to get guys that are going to start right away. If it is about upside, and it is about guys that will be able to be thrown in, later on in the season, but get the opportunity to play behind some veterans, then yes, the Rams trade makes sense. Yes, these kind of trade ups and trade downs, moving across the board, as Kyle Clifton said, that is certainly on the table as well. But it comes down to what Jets fans want. What do you want with these 4 draft picks? Because you have 4 in the top 50. Do you want them all to be starters, or do you want just the best talents available? There's a distinction there. There absolutely is. And they are going to have to make that decision of what they want.
Yeah, and to answer that question, again, my process going into this is I want 4 starters, and then, again, like a guy like Reese, I have much higher expectations than just starter. I believe he can be very special. So it's bare minimum 4 starters with upside at least for 2, and then we'll see. It's TBD coaching and environment, all these other things for those other 3. But yeah, for me, it's 4 friggin' starters, plug and play. This friggin' roster desperately needs it. That's absolutely where I'm at. You have a super chat coming in here once again, Nick. I love all the activity today. Let's send it through. This is from Ace of Spade.
Wow.
Nick F. I'll say the whole thing. Nick Faria. If Muji's team can scout, get more picks? ?
They have 4 this year. They have 4 next year in the top, potentially in the top 50. Like, they are really, really golden on where you want to be in this kind of situation. If you want to rebuild, if you're adding a 4th round pick next year, if you want a 4th first round pick, and you really want that 4th extra pick, okay, fine. But now you're saying goodbye to the potential to actually improve this year. And is that really what Aaron Glenn wants to do? That's not something that I get the picture. I mean, this guy's on the hot seat right now. He needs to win. And if that's the case, and this is kind of why I say, if you're the Jets and you are in love with Ty Simpson and you believe that he can play earlier than expected, then you take him. But if you don't, and if you feel he needs time to grow, you need time to sort of learn the game from the sidelines, this isn't the year to do that. So I do think, at 2, you go best player available. At 16, you go best player available, whether it's the tight end, whether it's a receiver. One of them I do believe is going to be available. But you are essentially sitting here with all these picks, and if you're just saying, well, punt to 2027 because it's a deeper class, then why is Aaron Glenn the coach in the first place? Why did they go out and spend, $40-50 million on talent this offseason? They're trying to win. It doesn't make sense if they're just going with the high upside players. And yeah, if we need to sit them, we sit them. These guys have to play right away.
It's a fair point. Thank you, Ace of Spade, for the super chat here. We have our mutual buddy checking in. Jake Asman, baby, gifting a Boy Green Coffee Club membership. Hey, now. For our buddy Jake, and again, that membership went to Joe Mike 6135. I want to give a huge shout out to Jake Asman. The Jets Collective podcast blew up this week. First episode of the books. Again, more clips to come for those who didn't get a chance to see the show. Make sure you guys subscribe to their brand new YouTube channel, Jets Collective. Rich Samini, Brandon Tierney, BT, Jake Asman, all there. We actually did a deep dive. I did an interview with Jake Asman on the MC Show digital channel. We went inside baseball on how the whole Jets Collective podcast came together. You guys could check out that full interview. Just look it up on the MC Show digital channel. Thank you to Jake for entering the proverbial octagon. All right, let's take a few more callers here on this program. We got 400 people in the room. Like the video, hit subscribe. We've got an absolute legend here. Southern Jet Rich, baby, has graced us with his presence.
Hey, how you doing, guys? I'm 100% agreeing with Nick. There's a difference between a solid, good player that may start as opposed to a difference maker. And there's not a lot of difference makers in this draft. And my preference is to get Reese at 2, try to parlay 16 and 44. If somebody you really like moves down a little bit, Downs, Tate, Love, so people say Love, but you got to think of Love if he drops, but but Downs would be like ideal, and parlay that. Then you parlay your fourths. You try to trade them, turn them into a third, and get Thomas from Jacksonville. And then at 33, you pick up your other receiver, But I think I would rather do that because I believe Reese is a difference maker. I believe I'm not saying he's Lawrence Taylor, but he's of that ilk. You can move him around. He's a chess piece. He's going to make a difference. He's going to have to. There's not many players in this draft that the other team has to, like Parcells used to say, have to be aware of where they are, And
well, I will say, Rich, I actually love the idea because if there's anything that I think the Jets should do or could do, it's get aggressive to trade back into the top 10 or get the player they want because they have the resources for it. I don't think you have to give up a 2027 first to move back into the top 10 this year if you're going after a guy like Downs or you're going after a guy like Tate or Tyson or Lemon. Could you find a partner at 10 and get your receiver? I certainly think that's a possibility because you're giving up 16 and 44. I think that is completely within the realm of possibility. And I will even say I'd give up 33 and 16 to get back into the top 10 if that was the case, because that gives me the opportunity to get 2 top talents and still have a second round pick at 44, which is still high, just not as high as 33. So to me, it's not about trading out from 2. It's about trading up with the resources to get 2 players that you may not have gotten if you stayed at 16.
Right. The way I just phrased everything, I'm coming away with 2 difference makers, and there's not many in this draft. Downs and Reese say, if you do that,
I don't know if it's going to be Downs, but I agree with the premise of that.
Yeah, or Tate, or or whatever, and I don't think you need to give a 2 for Thomas. I think you can get him for a 3 from Jacksonville, and that would fulfill a WR2 need. And then you pick up another receiver. Now, where's Surratt going to go? In the 4th or 3rd?
Elijah Surratt, probably 4th. I guess because of the Indiana effect, it could be 3rd round.
I have him day 3.
I didn't hear you, Nick.
I have him day 3.
Okay. So he's not flashy, but he's a possession receiver. He's a good WR 4 or 5. But but I want to come away with 2 receivers. And the only thing that worries me about Tyson is he allowing doctors to examine him?
I believe he did that at the combine. At the combine,
Did he?
and yes, I believe so. I believe he was there and did all the medical. I don't believe that he did any of the workouts, obviously, because of the injury. So,
So he allowed MRIs on his hamstring.
I believe so. Yeah, once you go to the combine, you get fully checked. I haven't heard that he refused or anything.
And then I don't understand what all the Nick. I mean, what's all the
because there are
big
injury
fuss?
concerns because it's not just 1 year. He tore his ACL in 2022. He's had the hamstring problem. He had a broken collarbone. Like there are legitimate injury concerns that they
He's
would have.
AVT. He's AVT. 3 years in a row.
Well, it's this one being in college, of course, but.
No,
yeah,
you
he's
don't.
never. But again, but the only pushback I would say, Southern Jet Rich, is like it's not just one medical exam. Oh yes, doctor, yes, fully healed. He's just fine. Like it's just the long term, the multiple injuries, the damage, the fact that he like couldn't participate at the combine, couldn't participate at the pro day, and now he needs like this special made up pro day like 6 days before the draft or something. Like I think that just are all massive red flags about it.
I get that. I wouldn't take him at 2, but are you telling me you wouldn't take him at 16?
I would. The medical stuff scares me.
Would you take him at 16?
Come on, Paul. If he's available at 16, you are running up to the table for that, and you are having a celebration in your watch party. I'm not. Come on, be honest.
I'll tell you, hey, all cards on the table. You know, this wasn't how I intended it. I did a mock draft on the show yesterday, 2-round mock draft, and I've never done a mock draft this season yet. I've let experts come on and do it, so I did it for the first time. I took Arvell Reese at 2. I tried to trade up for Carnell Tate, but I couldn't do it. So I took Vega at 16, and then I traded back into the first round at pick 19 with the Carolina Panthers to trade up for Jordan Tyson, and I gave up all kinds of picks and made it happen. So I did do that. That did just happen yesterday.
You were cool at 9. Yeah, there's a number where you're cool at. Is my point.
Right? 16, absolutely not. 19. Oh, yeah, I was all in. Yeah, basically.
Yeah. But Nick, I think you could actually do 44 and 16. To move up to the to the 9s.
I don't think you need 33. I agree. Yes,
because it works out.
Again, it was hypothetical.
I get it.
Pick you want to give up. Yes.
Yeah, if you really love a guy, But this love conversation's interesting. If he drops 2, say he drops to,
he's not going to drop.
He won't. But if he does,
if he, where do you think he's going, Nick?
So everything that I have heard. Tennessee really likes him. The Giants really like him, and
Washington.
From my
Rams want to move up.
Yeah. From my understanding, that's what the Rams want to do. They want to jump those 2 teams to try and get Love.
So what number?
But that's the thing. That's why people are saying, well, what if they go up to 2? What if they go up to 3? You bypass the Titans, you bypass the Giants. I will say, to hell with the Rams, stay at 2 and push Love off to 4 or 5. I don't think Love's going to be available for the Jets at all. I don't see that happening.
What about 33 and 16 to move up to get Love at 3 or at 4?
But again, I think you would have to give up even more than that. If you're going from 16 to 4, you're probably having to give up a 2027 first, and that's just not on the table.
What about trading Breece Hall as part of the move up?
They don't want to do that. Like they want to keep them long term. That's why this fascination with Love at this point, I just don't see happening with the Jets. I think if they're trading up, it's for a receiver. It's not for a running back.
Oh, you think the Jets would want Love and Breece Hall?
I mean, I'm sure they would love that, but they're not going to take.
I'd rather right this point right now. I'd rather have Love. He's a true 3-down back.
I mean, here's the thing. Breece can be as well. The problem is he hasn't put it all together yet. The fact that they're willing to pay him $14-15 million on the franchise tag tells you all what they think of Breece Hall for next season. They want to keep him. They want to keep him on the roster.
I think that gets back to what you were saying before. The reason they did that for Breece is because AG's job is on the line.
They want to win, and 100%. You can. And the other thing is this, Rich. If you're trading up, you're trading up for a guy that you desperately need and someone who fits a significant hole. And the biggest hole on this roster right now, outside of maybe quarterback and edge rusher, is that wide receiver.
Yeah, I agree. Nick, I know you have to go, so I just want to thank you so much for Nick Faria for joining us here on the show. Thank you. Nick Faria, our beat reporter from JetsXFactor.com. Appreciate him joining us this morning. Rich, is there anything else on your mind that you wanted to get off your chest?
I just want to say we got to come away with some receivers, obviously.
Yes,
and I, I'm not 100% sold on Thomas for some reason. I mean, it's not that I don't like
Thomas. You're talking about
from Jacksonville.
Oh, Brian Thomas Jr. Okay, no, yes. Okay,
because they're still talking about that, and as a draft day trade, and I'm not saying I hate it, but
I'd give up 44 right now for Brian Thomas Jr.
Yeah, 44.
Their second round pick. So the Cowboys pick.
You see, yeah, like I said earlier, I was going to try and get him for a 3.
Yeah, and again, there's some manipulations on the board, right? The Jets could move around a little, pick up that 3, and then use that 3 to get him. If that could get it done, obviously, I'd prefer that. But I'd be willing if we just skip. You go to a pawn shop and you're like 20, and they're like 50, and let's skip past all the BS of us negotiating. 44, I'd be if you push came to shove, and they said, "Hey, do you want this thing or not?" And I'm like, "Fine, 44 is the best I'll do." That's what I would be willing to do.
Yeah. And a quarterback, Aller or Beck, who's your favorite?
I'm probably taking Aller just because he's younger. He's got the prototypical size. He just has all the tools. So if you're taking someone on day 3, like pick 103 in the 4th round, if he's still there with some of these other quarterbacks, he's, even though I've seen a lot of, as a Notre Dame fan, seeing him in the college football playoff, not this past year or the year before, there was a lot of nasty red flags that people have said before I saw that game that I'm like, oh, that just gives me some heebie-jeebies. But Frank Reich, him working with young quarterbacks, if he identified Drew as one he'd like, I'd be cool with that. Carson Beck, is interesting in his own way for different reasons. But if I had to pick one or the other, I'd pick Drew.
Yeah, because I think that's what they're going to do. I think they're taking one of those two. I think they got their eyes on 2027.
Hey,
I don't think their eyes on, the Simpsons. I think this road working out for the Jets is a smokescreen because that
could totally be. Of course. Yeah, the total. Randy Mueller, that's one of my favorite shows I loved to do. Now he's back in the front office, so he can't do these shows with me anymore. But Randy Mueller was a former NFL general manager. He's now in the Saints front office. And he told me, when I said, tell me GM stories, and we're just telling him on air, he said, we sent people to pro days, so we had zero intention of nothing. And it was all a smokescreen. We hosted things, and it was just bullshit. And I'm like, oh my God, like that's crazy to hear that, like that really happens. And obviously, if Randy is doing it, the other NFL teams are doing it.
Yeah.
So it's just these mind games. Some are real and legit. They're going to clearly see that guy. But if it's mixed in between, it's that game, right? You put a dice and 3 cups down, you switch them around. A couple are real, a couple are fake, but you can't tell the difference. It's playing the game.
It's a smart move. It's a smart move.
Of course. I
agree. It's just that we have heard nothing. We've heard all this stuff about, and it's true the way he's had quarterbacks in the past. He likes the Josh Allen 6'4", 220 guys, Reich, and Simpson is not that. Yeah. I just don't feel that they think that, he's the guy for the next 15 years. Let's put it that way. Next year there's so much available.
Right.
And the only thing that would screw us, obviously, is having a good year.
Right. Well, I actually, that's where I'd push back. I think the Jets can have their cake and eat it too. And I've been saying that a little bit. The Jets and Geno Smith can have this magical, surprising, what the year, and they win 7-8 games or something. And then the Colts can suck. The Packers can suck. The Cowboys can suck. And then that's your key. One of those teams gives you that top 5 pick. You are good, and Jet fans get wins, which are nice. We haven't seen those in a while. And one of those other first-round picks you control, something terrible happens. I don't root for injury, but something god-awful happens. Boom, you get your pick, and you get your competitive season. So AG is saved in theory, and hopefully you get all the assets to get that long-term franchise quarterback.
if we have a decent year, that's the only way it can happen. You're right,
Of
because
course.
you always got to worry. Like, look at this year. There's a quarterback needy team is in front of us.
Yeah.
We could end up next year with the 4th pick and have 3 quarterback needy teams in front of us.
That'd be brutal, but possible. Which, like I said, I told other people, you can't. 3 first rounders next
predict.
year is cool, but it doesn't guarantee nothing.
That's
If the
right.
Browns have the number 1 pick, they are not trading with the Jets. They're taking their quarterback. If the whoever team, like, throw them all up, if that team needs a quarterback, they're picking ahead of the Jets. I don't care if they offer their firstborn child and 20 first-round picks. They're not going to give up that spot. So again, it depends on the team, but there is a perfect scenario where a quarterback to the Tennessee Titans, they have Cam Ward, and he looks really good, but the team sucks around him. They didn't do enough, and they have a top pick. That could be a trade partner. There's some of those teams, but we have to see what happens.
Whatever you think's going to happen, the opposite's going to happen. I mean, you just got to, you've got to do like we just said, play the games, have the smoke screens, accumulate your capital, do your scouting, and then if you do that, then that's all you can ask for a front office, because you don't know the unknowns,
100%. Rich, it was great to catch up with you, buddy. Thanks for calling in.
Yep.
There he is. Southern Jet Rich. It's been a hot second since he called into the show. Great to have him. We have 400 people in the room, including 160 of those 400 watching on YouTube. A couple of quick plugs here, folks. If you're just joining us and you're saying, whoa, what's this Jets Rams thing all about? Article in the YouTube description down below. You can catch up on it. Long story short, Chris Brockman of the Rich Eisen Show threw an idea out at Rich that he thinks the Rams are going to do something crazy in the draft. And he said, well, maybe they trade up for Jeremiah Love. That sparked my head to say, let me pull up the draft value chart and see what that trade would look like. So we've sort of talked about that potential trade idea. And then you guys have been voting throughout the show. Would you do it or would you not? Are you not willing to trade back that far? You want the 4th first rounder no matter what? Good conversation so far in the show, so I've really enjoyed it so far here on the program. We'll do one quick plug here, and then we'll keep getting the phone lines going. Again, folks, there are 2 YouTube membership levels that you guys can join. If you're watching on YouTube right now, there's a join button. Click that join button. Join one of our communities, the Boy Green Coffee Club or the Boy Green Espresso Club. The Coffee Club is only $2.99 a month. You get to have a wonderful community here, loyalty badge, emoji access. All our emojis are custom built from our friends over at Jets Worldwide. All the emojis can sometimes be callers being immortalized in emoji form. We have a bunch of those here on the channel, which I'll throw a couple of them up. Our latest one is EZ. Boom. Our friends made this custom emoji for EZ. We've got Johnny Boy and the Trojan, for Pete's sake. There you go. That's lovely. We've got Hep and the guitar, Bubba Bubba Badshaw. So many really cool emojis, all of them made by our friends over at Jets Worldwide. Member shoutouts, as you've seen throughout the show, and priority reply to comments. And a brand new club we made in January is the Espresso Club. At the end of every month, if you're an Espresso Club member, it's $5.99 a month. We do a private show just for you guys. The public doesn't see it. The coffee club doesn't see it. And I'm going to be honest, we go off color. There's drinking, there's swearing, there's never before told stories. Again, I'm going to reveal this weekend my conversation with Elijah Vera Tucker that happened after I wrote a story about him in free agency. You guys are going to want to hear some of those details. Very interesting. I feel a lot safer telling that story behind a paywall. So you guys can go check out that. Again, it'll either be Saturday night or Sunday night. If you go to our YouTube Shorts, there's an exclusive members-only video that you guys can reply to and pick your preference of whether you want it on Saturday night or Sunday night. All the details in that video. And also, as we had a Espresso Club member join the Army earlier today, again, another massive shout-out here. Okay, to Chris FL Jets, who became an Espresso Club member earlier in the show. You get 5 raffle tickets to every contest that we do. We do a raffle every single month on this channel. If you remain a member, every month you get guaranteed 5 raffle tickets for the contest. Raffle tickets are $3 a piece. So you get a $15 value for $6. I think it's one of the best deals on YouTube here. That again, if you join the Espresso Club, which is only $5.99 a month, you get 5 raffle tickets to every contest. Plus, you get all the perks that come with the Espresso Club and Coffee Club as well. So thank you to Chris for joining the Espresso Club, and those are the ways to do it. So hit that join button if you guys are watching right now on YouTube. All right, let's head back to the phone lines here. Mr. Legendary Famous Fulton is next. Mr. Legendary Famous Fulton.
Can you hear me?
Oh, now we got you. Yeah, sorry, I didn't hear you there.
Sorry, that's all right. How are you this morning?
Okay, I'm doing swell. You sound like you're doing much better, Mr. Legendary Famous Fulton.
Yeah. Been busy lately.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, good. Yeah, busy.
I'm doing track again this year.
Track, you said?
Yep, I am.
Like a short distance or long distance?
I'm actually doing javelin this year.
Oh, wow.
Probably I'm not sure if I can probably do the 200 this year because I haven't got the gold medal for that one yet.
Mm-hmm.
But this is the best one I can get, and then probably like the relay I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah. Oh, cool. Well, congratulations. That's awesome. Welcome back to track. That's great.
Yep. So yep. So it's gonna be a good one. So
what's on your docket today?
Well, I gotta go to the day program today. We're doing Zumba today.
Zumba? What is Zumba? Yep. I've always heard of the Zumba thing. What is Zumba?
Zumba is like exercise, like yoga or something like that.
Yeah.
It's like exercising, like workout and everything.
Okay.
So, yep.
Cool. All right. Well, have fun with your Zumba, pal.
Yep. And then we got rehearsal tonight.
All right.
And I never told you this, Paul, but one of my director, Bill Smith, he was a radio station back in the 90s.
Oh, cool.
Mm-hmm.
Congratulations.
Yes.
Nice. That's awesome.
Yep. So he told me all about it, and he said he was in a radio station called WTT. It's a 90s radio station.
Cool.
Back in the 1990s.
Yeah.
So,
good decade. Yeah.
Yes.
I enjoyed the 90s. Yes.
Yep.
How old are you, Mr. Famous Fulton?
26. I'll be 27 in July.
So you just missed the 90s. Oh, that's all right.
Yep.
Yeah. That's okay. Yeah, the 90s were great. I'll catch you up on it later.
Yep, exactly. So.
Well, birthday's coming up. That'll be great. We'll definitely celebrate that in due time. And Mr. Famous Fulton, get your Zumba on. Get your Zumba on.
I will, and I will try to make it on Sunday, hopefully, because I got work tomorrow, so I'll be pretty busy lately. So.
No worries. We'll see you on Sunday, pal. Enjoy the day.
Sounds great, and I will see if I can do that song for you guys.
Oh, that'd be great. So please see if you can, Mr. Legendary Famous Fulton. That would be a real treat. Thank you to Mr. Legendary Famous Fulton. All right, let's keep rolling here with our phone calls. Up next is Johnny Boy on the program. Johnny?
Hey, what's good, bro? How you holding up?
Good to see you, pal. Yeah, well, my friend.
First off, happy birthday to our guy Snowball. His birthday today.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that. So happy birthday, Snowball. Nice. 21. Good year.
Feliz cumpleaños. And happy opening day for the New York Mets. Gonna be
there you go.
Pitchers duel today, man. So
nice.
Pretty happy. Trying to tell that to Nick.
Okay.
But I wanted to ask you.
Yes, sir.
Yesterday, they had the Ohio Pro Day, right?
Yep, Ohio State.
And
yep.
a whole bunch of stuff started coming out of Reese in regards to him doing. Do you buy into that, or is that all just like
trash?
I think it's more for the interviews, right? Like like Glenn coming there, talking to Reese, kind of having more of a one-on-one with the guy, or
yeah, I mean, there's a couple of things here. As someone that's attended plenty of pro days, pre-COVID, I attended every Syracuse football pro day for like 5 or 6 years, and there's scouts and all kinds of people there at these pro days. So a pro day is a dress rehearsal. Arvell Reese and many other Ohio State players have been preparing for this pro day forever. They're doing the same workouts, the same everything. They're working with their people. They're sleeping in their beds the night before. It's supposed to be nearly perfect because they've been practicing it. It's a dance. It's a, we just Mr. Famous Fulton just called, right? He practices the theater and play, boom, 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 and then they do it on the game day. But they've been preparing for it forever. So yes, what the Jets and all these people are expecting is Arvell Reese to look awesome and be perfect because that's what a pro day is. It gives you the most ideal circumstances, settings, and everything to look really good and look good. So no, and for people who missed it and are not on social media, they were going through some pass rush drills, and Arvell Reese was coming around a bend on certain bags. And they say how you dip and sort of how you bend around is supposed to be some indicator of your bend around the edge of like in a football game. And a lot of people were overreacting, saying, oh, wow, Arvell Reese is looking pretty stiff and all this other stuff. Look at the tape, people. Look at the tape. Now, again, on Arvell Reese, this has to be said, he has a very limited pass rush skill set that we've seen at Ohio State. It's limited. So there is a level of projection. You see this and you think he could be this, but don't misinterpret the projection to say he's just boom or bust, because as Connor Rogers has talked about on all of his shows that he does, that there is a high floor for Arvell Reese as an off-ball linebacker. He's already awesome right now at that position. And then you've seen some flash at pass rush, and you believe that with your defensive coordinator and your coaches and everything, that you can unlock that new level to pass rush that he just hasn't got the reps to do yet. So I think everything yesterday was completely overblown, absolute nonsense. That doesn't make me question at all. I was an Arvell Reese guy 2 days ago. I remain an Arvell Reese guy today. So yeah, that was all bull.
Yeah, so and that was my point in asking in regards to that, because now they're making it of a bigger thing, but it goes into this trade scenario that you're talking about. So let's just say that we do that.
Okay,
right?
Let's throw it back up here. Yeah, there you go. Okay.
So we go ahead and do that, and then we're at 13.
Okay.
And there's still a player that we want, but there is a team that after I think their fifth pick, they don't have anything anymore.
Yeah, that's Washington. That's 7. Yeah, they have. Let me pull them up here. It is Washington is the team you're talking about, and they have. So okay, they pick at 7, and they don't pick again until 71. So there is that massive 60 pick gap. They don't have a second round pick, and as a matter of fact, they don't have a fourth round pick either. So they only have 2 picks inside the top 146 of this draft. So long story short, if you're targeting a team and you're doing mock drafts out there in the universe or real drafts, and the Jets are like, that's our team right there. They're the suckers that want more picks, and we can take advantage that they don't have picks. They have 2 picks again inside the top 146 selections 2 times. That's all they pick. So the Jets could take advantage of that and trade from 16 to 7 or 13 in these trade scenarios to have an opportunity to move up. Yes.
So then if we were to do that, could you see, I mean, dude, that would be crazy. Imagine Muji does this trade. Then out of nowhere, we hear it again, and the Jets have traded again with Washington to go to the 5th, and then we give up, I don't know, we swap, right, of course, 13 in the 5th.
Yeah.
And give up our 61.
Yeah.
As well that we just got.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Right. Yeah, there's a lot of different combinations. Again, it would be 7, not 5. 5 is Giants, but so it's even closer. But someone falls to 7, and you flip up from 13 to 7. Maybe it's 61. Maybe it's a third round, or maybe it's 93. I'd have to let me double check real quick. Let me see what the math is. So 1,500 to 1,300. That is a 1250, 1350, 1450, 350. So 350 is a late 2. Yes, so 350 is a late 2. So technically, it would just be that second round, or it would be 61 according to the value chart, which again, I assume Washington would be super interested in with their lack. So yeah, it would cost 61 to go from 13 to 7. Would cost 61 in the scenario that we get all these bonus picks. Yes.
And then at 5th, Sonny Styles is still there.
Sure.
We get Sonny Styles.
That'd be great.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. I mean, it's an intriguing move to do.
Yeah.
Do I think that it's going to happen? I honestly don't. I don't think they're going to get out of number 2. But, I mean, if the Rams were to do something like this, dude, that 2027 first-round pick, it's really intriguing, bro. So, you mean we get 4 coming there? I mean, why would you not want to do something like that? You know, so you just got to hope that not just Muji, right? But Muji, Glenn, Frank, that whole entire regime right now knows what they're doing and is able to get players that are going to be impactful.
Hey,
right then and there.
Okay, here's a little breaking news nugget. Let's get into this. Right, so we all know Ty Simpson's doing a private workout with the Jets on Friday, but Rich Cimini says there's more. The Jets' top decision makers are having dinner tonight with Ty Simpson in Tuscaloosa, followed by the workout tomorrow morning. Darren Muji, Aaron Glenn, Frank Reich, and Bill Musgrave will all be on hand for this dinner. So they're whining and dining. Ty Simpson, Carson Beck, Drew Aller. Over the last week, they will have done this dinner and everything else and more with these guys. So is this to Rich Southern Jets point? Is this all smoke screens and just showing people, oh, we're really into this Ty Simpson guy, or is it real? I don't know. But that just coming in on Twitter from Rich Cimini. Shout out to Rich.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's wild, man. I don't, dude. That man, Ty Simpson conversation is such a all over the place right now.
It is
because at the end of the day, it falls down on, do the Jets believe that much? And if they do, then you just gotta trust what they want to do. I mean, I could say
if they believe, I believe. That's what I would say.
And my whole shit is like, I have no idea, bro. Like, I'm not an evaluator for any of these football players at all. It's not what I do professionally. So, but man, imagine that. I mean, look, if it ends up being Ty Simpson, dude, I'm gonna root for the kid, even though I hate Alabama with the biggest passion. But hey, let's do it. But again, going back to that trade,
yes,
dude, and you telling me, man, if Sonny Styles, we could still get that guy, I would. I would do it, man. And then we still get a third. And I think that's around the time where all these other teams that have done so well in the draft have picked up players, and their scout departments have picked players that have done really well. So the hope is that you could go ahead and do that. And I say all of that because dude, there is a conversation that Ruben, Bain, and Downs is falling potentially. Like, I don't know how much you buy into that. I don't know if that's all BS, but dude, if that happens, bro, and Bain is there, and you telling me they came out of this draft in the first round with Sonny Styles, Ruben Bain potentially at 16, and a first round pick for 2027, bro. They're yeah, man. But hey, BG, keep doing your thing, bro. I just want wins. At the end of the day, I don't give a shit what they do. I just want to win. Win cures everything. It'll make it feel a lot better. But let's go Mets. Let's go Jets. Peace.
There you go. There's Johnny Boy joining us on the program. LGM. All right. Let's head back to the phone lines. We'll take a few more callers before we wrap up the show here. Again, the big news just coming in on Ty Simpson. They're now having dinner with him tonight with all the Jets' key decision makers. Fascinating. We'll have more on this on a YouTube short after the show today. So we'll keep you guys posted over there as well. Again, folks, we have 400 people in the room. 150 of those 400 are watching on YouTube. Hit that like button. Also subscribe. We're just, let me double check. Hit an update here. We are 3 subscribers away from 8,520. So keep that train rolling. Let's go to the phone line. C is up next. What's up, C?
Hey, Boy Green. How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing swell. Good to see you, man. How you feeling? You feeling better?
Well, I just finished up my meds today, so I got to go back to the doctor tomorrow, and
all right.
I still can't walk very well, but I'll get better. It'll take some time, but I'll get better. Anyway, listening to all this draft talk, I mean, I understand everybody gets really excited. It's like when the Mega Millions goes up to $1 billion and everybody buys their tickets, and we're all dreaming about what we're going to buy when we win.
Yeah,
I'm buying a boat. I'm buying a new house. I'm going to buy a plane and fly to every Jet game this season.
Yeah.
But when it comes down to it, we're not the only team doing this. Every team's doing what we're doing right now and dreaming about draft picks and trades and things like that. But I kind of think that the Jets are going to definitely stick it too. I don't think there's any chance. I don't think there's any chance they'll trade down. 16's a possibility, but I keep thinking now, I'm getting more and more wondering about Ty Simpson at 16. I don't know. I got a feeling the Jets really like this kid. And I listened to an interview with him, and I don't know. The kid's got something about him. I really like him. And I wouldn't mind if the Jets took him at 16. But if he's there at 16, do you say, well, maybe we should wait till 33?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. If you could maybe trade back a couple of spots and pick him up. But I think Ty Simpson is going to be a guy that the Jets are really interested in. And I think I think they want first round, I think the two players they get, I think they want to be players that they think are going to make a difference. I think once you get past round 2, we just don't know what they're going to do, because I think Moogie's going to be all over the place making trades, and I just feel like that. I feel like that's going to be this kind of draft.
Mm-hmm.
And another thing on a side note, Jets Collective.
Yes.
I was so happy to see Rich Cimini. I mean, I remember when I was a young man picking up the Daily News on my way to work, just to read Rich Cimini's articles and seeing that little tiny picture of his head on the newspaper,
Yeah.
And man, that guy's just so full of Jet knowledge. It's really good to see him get closer to the fans, like we can ask him questions and things like that. That makes me feel really good. And anyway, that's all I got today. I just think that, like I said, 1 and 2, I think, is going to be guys that we need. And I think after that, it's just going to be a crapshoot, because we have no idea what Moogie's going to do.
That's true. See, appreciate the call, and thank you for the more words on Jets Collective. That is with Rich Cimini, longtime personality, Brandon Tierney, a.k.a. BT, and Jake Asman. I am a massive fan of Rich. In the same way, see, that you said, I've read basically every article that Rich has ever written. I've listened his podcast to me, Flight Deck, which he does, once a week during the season and occasionally throughout the off season. Our appointment viewing. I learned he's forgotten more than most of us will know, and I know he's a polarizing guy to Jet fans, but to me, there's nothing polarizing. I really enjoy Rich Cimini. So I really appreciate Rich, and I'm glad that we have a nice friendship that he's been able to join me several times on this program. All right, we could squeeze in one last call. So sorry, everybody. We'll squeeze in one last call here. I got a few minutes, and I got to jump off at 9:30. So let's bring him in. Yes, we got to go to the People's Champ, Knowledge the Jedi, to finish us off here. What's up, Knowledge?
Hey, what's going on, Boy Green?
Hey.
So the topic that you have in here about trading back from 2, I would say no to the Rams, because 13 is too far. I feel like if we are going to trade back from 2, I wouldn't go any further than 8 with the Saints.
Okay, that makes sense. Again, 13 is far.
No, it's because it's only 11 blue chippers. The math isn't mathing if we go outside of that. Also, just like that draft movie, when everybody was saying this and that, the GM had an idea in his head of who he wanted no matter what. I feel if that was me, I'm all in for Ruben Bain. And the only reason why is that you could compare the pro day of Ruben Bain with Reese. And even though you're saying that don't put too much emphasis on that, when you're watching that edge drill in football, you got to look at the pad level of where his pad level is. And where his pad level was at shows that Reese is really a linebacker. Okay. And the way I look at it is that it's a deep draft for linebacker. So if we're going to get an elite edge, we could literally just get the wrecking ball Ruben Bain right there. Now, that's going to offset everybody's draft, because they're going to be like, okay, Reese is up there. Boom. 3's, everybody's going to start going crazy trying to get him because he's elite. Everyone's pushing him. You know what I'm saying? So that's going to create a frenzy. Then at 16, you could go in multiple directions, but I'm heavily against getting a quarterback in the first 2 rounds. So I feel the whole Ty Simpson scenario is really a smokescreen, because everyone sees that he's the number 2 QB on the board from all the experts. So you let people know, all right, we need a QB. We might be in on this guy. Again, the sample size is too small. I don't see him being the next Cam Newton. Maybe in 3 years, I see him coming off the bench like Love, like, you know what I'm saying? Or maybe doing him like Rodgers. But you need to have already a premier QB to be in that scenario. That's something like the Chiefs could take a risk on.
There's something to be said for that.
You know what I'm saying? Like there's certain you gotta have a play set QB already there so you could sit somebody for that long so they could develop. He needs to develop. You know what I'm saying? We cannot have a Hackenberg scenario. We grab somebody in the first two rounds and then expect them to be something that we're projecting in our head. If we stick and pick where we at, we got 4 picks in the top 50.
Yep.
We need to, every one of those picks has to be a person that's a potential starter to like right away. Whether they start or not, that's up to them to beat whoever's there out of the position. But they have to be a potential day one starter. That's how I see it. We have 8 picks in the next 2 years in the top 50.
Yep.
We gotta hit every one of those picks. Now, it's too risky to start moving back, moving up, doing all the crazy math, giving up capital. It's too risky. I feel like Moji is very meticulous. I think he's going to do his homework so deep that he could stay and pick and still hit a home run every time in the first 2 rounds. Like, I see us going double down on defense in the first round and then go on offense in the second round. Or if we go offense, defense, then that's the same scenario in the second round. Because I don't know, man. I think we need a premier safety. And I think the safety I like right now after the pro days and everything, I like Miami. I may be a little biased, but
Keontae Scott
ran 4.25. Scott had how many interceptions? He was a game changer, like instinct interceptions. Imagine a reality that, let's say I'm all in on Bane, but we don't get Bane. Imagine a reality that we go out there, we get Reese because everyone likes him, right?
Sure.
And then at 16, we get a turnover machine like Scott, because I don't see him getting out of the first round. I don't see a difference maker like that guy getting out of the first round. So if you're gonna take a swing at 16, take a swing on a guy that's gonna be a turnover machine. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
So that's what we were lacking. So we need turnover machines over here. The receiver class is deeper than some people think. And
for sure,
with Jordan over here, Jordan Tyson over here.
Yeah.
He didn't even look. He might be a freak of nature talent, right? Talent-wise.
Yeah.
But he hasn't even made it through a complete college season without an injury.
Yeah.
How are we gonna believe that at a higher level in the NFL, everyone's faster, stronger, hits harder, plays are quicker, it's a longer season, that he's going to last past the first half of the season?
There's no guarantee.
You get what I'm saying? So it's
I hear you. Yeah.
We got to take everything into consideration. We already been legendarily passing up on great opportunity players throughout the draft historically. We could have had Dan Marino. We passed on Marino.
Yeah, we got Kenny O instead, who I love Kenny O. Salute to Kenny O. But
no, I get you, but you compare that to Marino.
No, of course.
Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, you got to look at the complete class of QBs and see who you passed on. So I see us next year getting a QB, but then again, it's risky because 2 of those guys are still underclassmen.
Right, so they could choose to go back again, 100%. Yeah, that's possible.
The thing is, we're not going to know who's in that draft class until they declare right after the college football national championship.
Right. Outside of whoever, I'd have to double check if anyone is out of eligibility. They'd have no choice. But no, there's several that have choices, though.
Ole Miss's QB had to just fight to get back in college.
Although maybe he fights again to be a doctor.
He's a little height challenge, but he looks pretty good. He looks like a win.
Chambliss. Right, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Maybe he's the guy. Right.
No, not saying no. We never know who's going to be the guy.
Who knows?
That's the thing. We could throw out a million names, and we're never going to know who's really going to be the guy.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like they say every year, somebody's a generational quarterback. That's malarkey.
They do.
That's malarkey because that's like looking into a crystal ball. This guy, you could think he's the next big thing. The first play he's out there on his pro day, somebody breaks his leg and he never walks again. Who knows?
Yeah,
You can't predict the future.
You definitely can. Well, Knowledge, I wish we had more time today for you. I appreciate you calling in. And again, you've become a regular part of the rotation, which the fans are digging. So we'll have to do this again soon, brother.
No, I appreciate you.
There he is. Knowledge the Jedi, gracing us with his presence. Spectacular show. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in today. Again, we had memberships gifted from NC Green, #1 Austrian Jets fan, Super Chat from Mahar Khalil. We had DKL9548 join the Boy Green Espresso Club. Thank you very much. EZ with the Super Chat. NY Jets Fandom, member for 20 months. Terrific. Mac Attack, Mahar Khalil joining as well. We had Chris FL Jets joining the Espresso Club. So, or DKL, excuse me, gifted 10 memberships earlier. DKL has been a part of the Army, so thank you. And Chris FL, I had that confused. Chris FL Jets joined the Boy Green Espresso Club. Ace of Spades, Super Chat, and Jake Asman gifting a membership. And again, if you are a Boy Green Espresso Club member, there is a YouTube short just up for you guys. Make sure you guys watch it and comment in. Which do you prefer? I actually start. It's not a new job. I've been doing this job for a long time, but it's seasonal. I'm working with the Syracuse Mets again. So that means I'm going to be working on some of these weekends and nights. That just means we have to recalibrate the Espresso Club meeting for this week. Would you prefer it Saturday night at a time to be determined? The baseball game could be any length of time. Or do you want it on Sunday night? Let us know. Go to that YouTube short. You should see it in the short section. If you're on YouTube, hit shorts, and it'll be a video with a big black star in the top left-hand corner. Make sure you guys comment on that and let me know your preference, and I'll sort of gauge the audience, and we'll pick that Espresso Club meeting. That'll be coming up this weekend. So, shout out here to Chris FL Jets. You will get an opportunity to jump on that train for the very first time this weekend. You also have access to any previous Boy Green Espresso Club meetings that you want to rewatch or do anything of that nature. But the first one for you is coming up this weekend. You guys can join the Espresso Club. If you're watching on YouTube, hit that join button and we will make that happen. I want to thank everybody for joining us on today's show. Do me a solid. On the way out, make sure you guys like the video that is free to do and hit subscribe, baby, and help us continue to grow. I know we're going to hit it one day, and it's going to be such a seismic, cool day when we reach over 10,000 subscribers here on the channel. We're less than 1,500 away. It's right around the corner. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We will be back. It is a Thursday, so I'll see you at 3 o'clock for Boy Green Meets Woody. Some more Jets content coming on the channel in the afternoon window. We'll see you then, folks. Take care.